Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela. Look, it's no color on in real life, but in the screen it's like colored. Is it showing up colored for y'all? This is Angela, and I have a couple questions for you. Not really, because this is invite only Cabo, or Cabo with Larry. What episode is this? I don't know. I gotta look that up too. But this is the episode where we find out officially that Corey is a he, but we already knew that Corey was a he because they were trying to be so mysterious about whether Corey was a he or a she by using these the one that I love is the one whose name is Corey, by not saying he or she, by keeping it ambiguous, so that I guess it was like the big surprise, like ta-da. But I wasn't really I guess because watching who did I watch early on at the beginning of the season? I was watching it's some YouTubers. One of them says my God all the time. I can't think of their names now, but they do a lot of reviews, and they had already said he's bisexual. So I didn't know if it was true or not, but as I was watching the things unfold, I'm like, well, that seems to fit the. But, so what's disturbing to me, or what's shocking, or, like that part, I just kind of feel like, hey, boo, if, do you, and if all of y'all are bisexual or not bisexual, or all of y'all are sitting around hoping Larry would choose you or not choose you, I don't know. But just the whole, I guess this is a continuation of the Housewives. I would like, there's a lot in those dynamics that kind of confuse me in terms of how those people interact with each other, and particularly how Larry interacted. Because I feel like if you just so in love with Corey, and Corey is the one that you love, then why are you trying to check Bianca about the man putting his hand on her butt? And if Bianca, if you in love with Bianca, if you in love with or care for Corey, were you trying to just string Bianca along? Because usually a good way to keep somebody in the friend zone is to talk to them about your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and that way they know that they ain't your girlfriend or your boyfriend, or they're not in contention, so it ain't no mess or confusion with that. So I just kind of feel like, I don't know if it was like supposed to be dramatic or confusing for TV, or if he's just living a dramatic and confusing life. I don't know. And he spoke also about, kind of not having to keep this secret anymore. So I don't know if, maybe just in terms of his own development and growth and acceptance of his sexuality and getting comfortable with it, maybe that's where some of the confusion and mess comes in. Because I feel like y'all are a little old for, some of the behavior. I'm kind of like, I don't understand. Bella, you understand? You should understand. Okay, so let's just go through my notes. But anyway, okay, so Kamani is looking all cried out, and she might not be cried out. It might just be that she doesn't have on makeup, because throughout the episode there were a couple scenes where we saw some of the women without makeup, and when you're used to seeing somebody with makeup, when you see them without makeup, sometimes they look really like, what's wrong, are you okay? So I don't know if that was the thing, but Kamani to me was looking cried out. And I'm like, I hope this child, if she is all cried out and upset about Agu the fool, then I hope this will be the last time and she'll learn a lesson moving on. Because we've been saying it, right? Like, somebody said, just charge it to the gay girl. And cute. He showed you who he was. And she's excited about her new roomie. They have the place cleaned out and organized or whatever. I don't know what they were talking about. And then we see Emily again without hair and makeup, because doesn't she usually have thicker, longer hair? I don't know, but and she's getting the true story, she says, from Agu, or maybe she's just I felt like she was like planning the story on TV, like, well, my official story is that I don't know what happened, and that you're telling me now exactly what happened, and that they might have worked out on camera what to say I don't know, but it just seemed kind of weird to me, because I guess I haven't believed all along. Now, I don't drink, so I might not be able to relate to it. I've never been blackout drunk before, and I guess probably everybody's blackout drunk is different. So maybe she really was blackout drunk and just really doesn't remember anything, and for me as a non-drinker looking at it from the outside, I'm like, that child know what's going on. She just don't want to admit to it. But then her behavior seemed to indicate that she knew what was going on and didn't want to admit to it. So I don't know. They delivering mail today. Okay, that's good. So, you know, we see Emily and Agu having the conversation, and Emily is like, I just want to know exactly what happened because I'm going to tell Joseph what happened. And Agu says, you know, that, what did he say? That they were very drunk, that it didn't last for very long, that, you know, they kind of made out, heavy petting or whatever, but no penetration, intercourse. Is that what he said? I don't know. But she did look convincing to me. Like, I really, you know, I was believing her on one hand, but I wasn't believing her on another hand. You know, I don't know if I believed her or not. Okay. So then we see Bianca talking to Larry about what the guys told her about his love interest. And she's basically like, look, you know, we're friends. What's going on? If you know, you know, you can tell me what's going on with your life. You don't have to be afraid to tell me what's going on in your life. And it seems like they're old enough and they've been friends long enough, but I know relationships are always growing and evolving and developing, and we're getting to know people better and trust people better, or trust people worse. And, you know, that's, you know, you learning and growing in relationships. So maybe he just really didn't feel safe and secure, you know, telling her about the love interest, or maybe he was just, but, you know, she confronts him about it. And he tried to check the fellas, like, well, why'd y'all tell her that? But I feel like he shouldn't be checking the fellas, because they were actually, I felt like they were trying to do her a kindness so that she wouldn't be blindsided and embarrassed and humiliated in front of all of us on TV. And he tells her that, you know, about Corey. We find out that Corey is a man, no surprise. Bianca takes this other person, his love interest, in stride. More or less, she says that she feels that Corey is special to Larry. She knows Corey. And she, you know, it's like she's basically holding it together. But there was a moment where she was in her interview room, and I was looking down to take notes, and I looked up at the last moment and I saw it, because she was like, everything is good. And it was like they left the camera on her for a little bit too long, or she couldn't, you know, it was like if they had cut a little bit sooner, I wouldn't have seen that moment. Or if I had been looking down at my notes, I'd have been like, oh, Bianca is cool. But I think that she was a little bit, you know, a little bit hurt and a little bit embarrassed. And I think she sort of is like the representative in a way to me of all of his friends. Because during this episode, I started to wonder, are all of his friends kind of there waiting, hoping that Larry will choose them? You know, I think they all more or less know that Larry is bisexual. But I think it's like, you know, so I think they're all kind of waiting and hoping for Larry to choose them. But Bianca is the one who kind of embodied it and put voice to that dynamic in his relationships with people, in the same way that he was sitting around wishing that Corey would choose him. And Corey did choose him for a minute, right? But I just felt like, oh, boo-hoo, you know, for Miss Bianca. That was, you know, but that's life, you know, that's how life is, you know. That's how life is. We just gotta enjoy what we can enjoy and get love, and you know, we just gotta go with it. But that's how life is, BB. Okay, so then we see Emily calling Joseph to confess, and we hear Emily saying, I hate me more. I guess he said that he hate her, and I believe it. I believe that she really has an issue with self-hate. I missed whatever his ultimatum was. I don't know if he was like, leave you know, the house, leave Cabo now, or I don't know what the ultimatum was, but Emily was not here for the ultimatum. She like, you know, you're not gonna control, I can't even control me, so no, your ass ain't gonna control me. So okay. And then the whole Kimani Agu thing. Kimani, you know, Agu is like, well, let's talk, you know, I don't want it to be awkward and weird. And Kimani is like, well, it's too late for that. It's already awkward and weird. And then Jermaine and Malaku are narrating. That was kind of funny in a weird kind of way, because it's like a lot of heartbreak or sadness around, and I guess they're like comic relief, but it's kind of, the heartbreak is not really that comedic, but it is, you do need a little bit of relief. So I don't know, I was kind of I had two thoughts about them. And then Agu, you just, to me, it's like your assholeness, your fuckboyness, your freakboyness is just, you know, your dick is not this child's responsibility. You're old enough and grown enough to be the one who's managing your penis. So your penis should not be under the command of alcohol. Your penis should not be under the command of Emily because she want to have your penis. Your penis should not be under the command of Kamani because she rejected your penis, and your penis has to go someplace else. You're old enough and grown enough that you should be the one who's managing your business. Handle your business. You manage your dick, grown ass man. Damn. Now that got on my nerves. I did not appreciate that. And I just hope that when you see yourself on tape and hear how you sound where you're not taking responsibility, I hope that, you kind of, I hope you kind of can check that and kind of work on that, because it's not a good look. I mean, I'm happy that you have a big dick, and I know that that's gotten you over, and, that's like your thing. But, it's more to you than that. And I hope that you develop that and kind of focus on growing and developing, yourself as a human being, not just the penis. Yeah, I mean, you're probably not an asshole, but you're playing one on TV, and it's not attractive and it's not cute. Okay, so then we're waiting on Corey to come, and he's happy that he don't have to hide that part of his life anymore. I was confused by that. He says that everyone knows that he's bi, so why is he hiding Corey? I don't understand. He comes with his man bun. As the episode progresses, he basically looks more and more attractive, and then his hair is really significant in how he appears to me, because with that man bun he looked like ill, but then as the next thing he did with his hair is like, oh, okay, he's a nice looking guy. Then the next time I was like, oh, he's fine. Then the next time I was like, oh. It's like whatever he do with his hair, it seems to really affect how I perceive his attractiveness. I don't know. I don't know if I was just so distracted by his hair that I couldn't look at him, but that's all off the subject. Young kid with a backpack. Who is this Mr. Man Bun? That's what Jermaine was saying. And I think it's great to integrate your life, sir, Mr. Larry. I don't understand all of this separation. I can understand, if these people are your friends, then these people are your friends, and I think it's good to share your life with your friends. So I don't understand why you living your life and not sharing your life with your friends. So it's good that y'all came together so that your friends can get to know you better and you can share your life with your friends. Jermaine is like, he's been watching the longest, 24 years, 26 years. He got his eye on this Corey and the man, and I think he's trying to understand why Larry didn't introduce him to Corey. I think he's confused by it and a little hurt by it, and trying to like maintain and reestablish and hold on to his image of himself as this man's friend, because I think it kind of throws him off that he only, that he's close. Like, it's like if you think you're somebody's friend, like, oh yeah, we're good friends, and then you find out something about them that they didn't even tell you, you're like, well, maybe we're not good friends. So I think Jermaine is kind of like confused and thrown off and trying to be like, we're good friends. The reason he didn't tell me about Corey is because he thought that I would see that they weren't good together. I don't know. I think Larry has some issues, because even earlier when Larry had said something, I think Jermaine is like, well, he'll tell us when he's ready. So it's kind of like Larry has them trained to stay the fuck out of his business. That's what it seems like. And it doesn't seem very friendly, and it doesn't seem very healthy. So I'm glad that his friendships, that he's willing to take them to the next level of intimacy. That's part of friendship, intimacy, sharing who you are, what's important to you. You may not share, what you had for dinner 6 weeks ago, but it seemed like if somebody is really important to you in your life and you care about somebody, that the other people who are in your life would know, oh yeah, that's the love of their life, that's a good friend of theirs. It shouldn't be no mystery and no secret to your friends. Now, I could see if one of your colleagues didn't know, oh, I don't know Corey, well, that's your colleague, but your friends, yes, it's time. Okay, so and then he took this man Corey up to his suite. So that's clearly, it's kind of like you know, whether they in the sleep, that's the person who all of the rest of y'all are just on the friendship sphere, and this is his partner. That's why they're in the room, sharing the room together, because that's his partner. And that's why when the show opened, all of y'all he was in the penthouse and all of the rest of y'all were on another level, because y'all are his friends and this is his potential partner, his love interest. Took him to his suite. Kamani does not. Oh, Kamani doesn't want Corey to be in the dark about Bianca like Joseph was about Emily, but I don't think that's what's going on. Corey, he said he never felt like he knew who the core people were in Larry's life. Jermaine is off in the cut observing, you know. I think Jermaine is just kind of thrown off by the whole thing and hurt by it, but he off there kind of observing, making weird comments. And then Bianca is all up underneath Corey, like, you know, lace hugged up underneath him. So I guess that's like in their little circle how they relate to each other. And I missed it, but apparently Larry said that he's only told 2 people in his life that he loves him. So is Bianca the one? Because he should be saying I love you a lot to her, right? So I don't understand. I didn't, you know, I'm like, you know, because he seemed to just throw it around very casually with her. But with Corey, I guess it was significant, or maybe he means he's only told 2 people that he really met. I don't know what he meant. Emily, I'm the problem. Oh, Emily, she just sitting there stewing while Kamani is getting ready. I guess they waiting on Kamani. Maybe this has been the pattern that they've had to wait for Kamani to get dressed. Some people take a long time to get dressed, and it can be annoying. But Emily, her anger at Kamani seemed kind of intense. And I think she was frustrated and angry and feeling guilty and bad about the whole thing with Joseph. I think she was feeling uncomfortable about the dynamic between her being just a one-night stand or a casual, you know, fuck for Agu, and Agu trying to treat Kamani like somebody desirable. And I think, you know, I don't know if it's like, you know, white girl syndrome, but sometimes, you know, like light-skinned girls can have that same syndrome, or pretty girls can have that same syndrome, where they feel like they should be the center of attention. They should be the most desirable, and nobody else should be, you know, should have, you know, more attention than them. And so they do things to kind of undermine other people, other women, from getting attention. But yeah, so she started getting upset. You know, Emily started getting upset with Kamani while they were still at the house. And Corey is drunk. And just, he's drunk. He makes a drunk love declaration, which he takes back, or he says he forgot. You know, is that what they're going to show us on the next episode, or did it happen on this episode? Because I was kind of like, they were all crying and happy, they said, to be around his declaration of love for Larry. So it's sad when someone has to get drunk to tell. All of that drinking, I guess, again, because I'm not a drinker, I don't understand it. But it's like, if you doing stuff when you drunk and yeah, okay. And then Emily is very mad at Kamani. It continues. And at first I thought I kind of understood, but I still didn't understand. And then when Agu really got mad at Emily, I didn't really understand that either. I don't know if, at first I was kind of like, Agu is mad at Emily for attacking Kamani and not taking responsibility for her part in it. Because there was a scene, remember, when she was rubbing her butt up against him, and it's kind of like trying to get the attention back on her, trying to, like, you know, be like, desire me. And he desired to fuck her as somebody easy to fuck, but I don't think he desired her to, like, want to be with her in the same way that he thought that he desired Kamani. But I don't know why he getting so mad at Emily and blaming everything on Emily, because he needs to get mad at himself and blame stuff on himself. Because there are always going to be people. You have to be the master of your own domain, Mr. Agu. You can't let her be the master of your domain, because just because she was throwing her, you know. So I didn't really, you know, I could understand. And then Kamani being so mad at Emily, I could understand being like, well, that's not, you know, she's kind of a loose woman, or she's kind of not the kind of woman that I like to be associated with, or not the kind of woman that I am. But I don't think you should be mad at her for being who she is. And if that man is interested in that, and that's where he is, that's where he is. And then Larry, he started going off. He came into the conversation, he asked what was going on, and then he was just flipping out. I'm done trying to fix grown folks' problem. And I'm like, well, why problems? Why don't he just go upstairs and be with his boo? You know, he done brought the people together for drama. He done brought the people together for TV. He brought the people together for Bravo. So he was, you know, I didn't know if he was trying to be dramatic for the TV, but like all of that, I was just kind of like, well, then don't try to fix their problems. I mean, you know, they didn't come knocking on your door when you with your man being like, Larry, we need your help to fix our problem. They down there gossiping or doing whatever they doing. So that was Invite Only Cabo, or Cabo with Larry. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just annoyed. I don't know. But I was just kind of, you know. I guess I give this episode a 7 or an 8. It was all right. What you think? You like it? Did you enjoy it? Did I miss anything? All right. Today is the best day ever, and you know what you're supposed to do today, right? Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace.